So how is Wolfie dealing with being in command of Atlantis?
He's learning a lot, and he's aware of his weaknesses, which I think is his saving grace as an individual. He knows he rubs people the wrong way. He knows he's been a theorist and a legal mind his whole life, but not a man of action. So he knows what he has to learn and how he has to grow, and that's what I admire about him, even though he can be kind of a jerk.
How you touched a little about how has he evolved through the course of SG-1 coming up through this current season of Atlantis?
When I was first introduced on SG-1, the character was pretty much a finger pointer. He came in to say somebody screwed up. I'm going to interview everybody. I'm going to find out who's to blame, and that person's head is going to roll. That's not a likable or cuddly guy, because he has to remain adversarial to everyone. He has to remain impartial, but he can't appear to favor anyone. So by nature, he is going to be impersonal and sort of aggressive in his investigative techniques. Not a likable guy. Then, in the next time I was on, you found out that he was unwittingly at the behest of evil Senator Kinsey, played by Ronnie Cox. And when he finds out that he was being manipulated, and that he really felt he was doing the right thing, he feels that civilian oversight of a secret military operation is really important to make sure the public is served and that no one gains control secretly of this and puts the public in any kind of jeopardy. So he believes in what his mission is. And when he finds out he's been manipulated to someone's evil purpose, he turns against them, gives evidence to the president, and we see that he's got a certain courage and sense of honor. And in subsequent episodes, we see that although he's not a terribly courageous guy, right? He really means well and is passionate about whatever his mission is with regard to the IOA, this liaison now between all the governments that know about the secret program. So we've seen that he is a guy of limited interpersonal skills, who basically is highly ethical, very intelligent, and now he just has to extend those abilities more into the real world and be, he's the guy who thinks he knows everything from watching, football on television, who now gets to play.
A lot of fans, of course, know you from being the Doctor on Star Trek Voyager. What's it like going from such different science fiction universes from, the world of Star Trek into the world of Stargate?
I get asked this quite a lot. There's Star Trek, for all of its, wonderful history, and I'm very proud of the work I did on the show and my 7 years there. Star Trek is a certain formality about it because it's set in the future, and we've set up this self-contained world. It was very restrictive in the way we shot it. We were never allowed to change a word without calling the office. Sometimes we had to wait 2 or 3 days if we wanted to tweak a line or add a joke. There was a real strong chain of command. And that was because the people that made the show knew the show very well, and they wanted to make sure that we obeyed the canon of the show and didn't suddenly have, colloquial expressions from 2005 or 8 or whenever we were shooting suddenly pop up in a world that was supposed to be set in the 23rd century. So I understand that, but Stargate is a much breezier feeling. We're allowed to tweak the lines if we think it would be better this way. There's a certain sense of freedom, a certain sense of winking at the camera that we all know we're going to save the day today, that we're all involved in a science fiction action show, that we could never wink at the camera in Star Trek. So there's a certain kind of, as far as someone who had the other experience and loved it, now this is a whole different experience, even though it's still science fiction, in the way we make the show and in kind of, I think, what some of the strengths of the show are. So I'm having a ball.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.